this video, we're going to discover inner voices for jazz piano so that we can begin to sound like some of the great jazz piano players like Bill Evans, Keith Jarrett, Herbie Hancock, Kenny Barron, and even Fred Hirsch. Hey, it's Paul Tobey here from jazzmental.com. Thanks for joining me for another one of my tutorials. There are basically three main reasons for using inner voices in jazz piano. The first is something called voice leading, which creates a seamless connection between chords, such as in this example. The second is harmonic filling, where the inner voices fill out the chord to make it richer or more dissonant, such as in this example. And third, inner voices can be melodies used to create more complexity or even voice leading, such as in this example. So now that we know what inner voices are and what they sound like, let's get into the music and discover how we can make these sounds for ourselves. Today we're working on the jazz standard The Nearness of You, written by the great American songwriter Hoagy Carmichael, who's also written some other great ballads that you may know, like Stardust, Georgia on My Mind, and Skylark. What I did was play The Nearness of You on the grand piano, and then I wrote out the arrangement. I basically transcribed what I was playing into this full arrangement. So what we're going to do is listen to that recording, take a look at the sheet music, and every time an inner voice happens, we're going to analyze it. Let's listen now. Okay, there's the first instance of our inner voice. And what we're using there is voice leading. We're moving from one chord to another seamlessly by connecting them with inner voices. And the bar we're looking at is this one right here, where you've got the left hand moving from F to G flat, and then the right hand takes over to G. So we're connecting B flat major with an E flat 9 chord. Do you hear that? That's a really nice inner voice. Now, when you're connecting two chords together and one of those chords is a major chord, the notes that typically work in voice leading, you can use the fifth, which is one of the chord tones, the sharp 5 or the flat 13, the sixth, or the major 7th. So if you played that B flat chord like this, you might hear other pianists do things like that. So once again, connecting B flat to E flat 9 sharp 11 with basically a simple voice leading going from 5 to sharp 5 to 3 of E flat. So chord tone to chord tone. Let's keep going with the music and listen for the next inner voice. It's happening in this bar right here where you've got A minor 7 to A flat 7. And the inner voice is done with the right hand this time. So you could just go A minor 7th to A flat 7. But it's more interesting to use inner voices to connect those two chords together. In minor chords, more notes are available for voice leading. You can actually voice lead to the third of the chord by going under the third, over and back, or you can do something like this. But you can also voice lead in the upper part of the chord as well. You have this note available, which is the flat 6th. You also have the 6th and the 7th, and even the major 7. So you've heard things like this before. Okay, so there's a lot of notes that are available. In this particular case, we're just using the 7th to 1 to 7 to basically what would be the 6th of the chord, except that's the next leading tone which is the 7th of A flat 7. So A minor 7 to flat 7 of A flat 7. Notice that we are playing more of the chord a little bit later on. So that's kind of like an inner voice where you're starting with a simple chord and then adding notes to fill out the chord. Nice chord there, actually, if you take a look at the E flat over E. It's a nice bit of dissonance there. All right, let's go back and listen to a little bit more of the tune and see if we can find our next inner voice. There it is right there. We're going from A minor 7 to D7 sharp 11. And this is an example of harmonic filling. So we're working on bar 7 right here. And we're going from this A minor chord. Notice that the notes are staggered. So that's kind of like inner voices. We've got the chord, then we're putting in extra notes. So the harmonic filling is basically, you've got this note, and this note, which fill in the A minor chord. And then on the D7 sharp 11, we're starting with the dissonance and then filling in the 7th and the 5th, which is literally part of the melody. Let's play that one more time. Okay, that's a nice example of harmonic filling. Let's go back and listen a little bit more. There's drop 2 voicings there leading back to the top of the head. Remember this one? Drop 2 voicings. All right, there's our next example. This would be an example of creating inner melodies. Okay, the bridge starts here on this G minor 7th chord, and the inner voices go from here right through the bar. And we're connecting G minor 7th to the C chord, and you'll notice that the left hand is dropping from the G flat to the F to the E down here, which is the chord tone of C major. So from the beginning of the bridge, now that's a really nice melody. We talked about that before, where you're basically using on the G minor chord, the 7th, the major 7th, 2 to 1. And this is played with the left hand. So you're holding down the root, and then with your thumb and first finger, you're playing that melody. Let's go back and listen to the music. And this last one is an example of voice leading. So you're going from the flat 5, which is this note here on the G7 chord. It's a nice dissonant chord if you listen to that. Now all we've done is taken a G7 chord and put in a flat 5 and started with that. And then it resolves to 5 and then resolves to 3 of C7. And then when you get to the C7, you've got the 9 and the flat 9 going to 1. And you stick in the 3rd in the left hand. So we're talking about right here. This is also voice leading. Let's play it from the beginning of the line, which is the A half diminished seventh chord. So we're playing right from here to G7 with a flat 5, to the natural 5, to the third of C, and then 9, flat 9, to 1, and then the third of the left hand, and then back to the top of the tune. Notice that instead of going to 1, we're literally starting on a B half diminished seventh chord, or B minor 7 flat 5. And then you've got this nice bluesy grace note leading to the B flat 7 chord. Okay, this time, instead of me talking over top of it, let's just play the progression from the A half diminished seventh chord. Okay, one more time, let's listen to the tune from there right through to the end. There's actually one more there at the end of the tune, which is kind of nice. It's on this bar right here, the G minor ninth chord, and basically we're just using the scale. So from the G minor ninth, those notes are basically leading into the third of the C7 chord. So the destination is C7 with the third in the bass, the E natural. So you're just using the scale. 1, 5, 3, 2, 1, flat 7 to C. Let's listen to the ending. Please consider a thumbs up for this video, as it really helps us here on the channel. And if you'd like to subscribe, hit the little bell and we'll notify you of all the upcoming videos that we're making, including the live masterclasses, which happen every Saturday morning. If you like the sheet music that we've been working on today, it's basically a transcription of my playing. I've written out the entire arrangement note for note, which took some time. If you'd like to support the channel, I'm going to put a coupon code on your screen to grab it at 50% off, and put a link to that sheet music to download it up in the corner. And if you're looking for more tutorials on how to tackle ballads, check out this video next, as it talks about how to harmonize like the great Bill Evans.